Big Ron Shaw here, the Earl of Upsets, telling you to watch my friends, Monte and the Pharaoh, on Long Island's #1 wrestling podcast show, and soon to be the world's #1 wrestling podcast show. That is going to be a big upset.
Entertaining podcasts I listen to. I don't listen to many. That one, Francine, is a different point of view. It's a female point of view, but someone who's been through the hardcore wars.
Yes.
So what Francine has to say to me matters and is important. And there are two guys up in New York, Monte and the Pharaoh.
Mm-hmm.
I find them hugely entertaining. I find them fun to listen to. But those three are the only three podcasts really other than, the PW Insider stuff that I listen to at all.
The Monte and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling. Right, you know what? I'm sorry, I have to start a new intro, Jimmy, just like we're going to get new Wisteria Hall music soon. Welcome back to the Howard Stern of pro wrestling, Monte and the Pharaoh. Jimmy, how are you, buddy?
Good, and I still don't know who Artie Lang is, but go on.
Yes, you do, my friend. Yes, you do.
Yeah, well, only through comparisons to him, but I still don't really know his shit, so...
We're up against it on a Thursday night. Got a football. We've got Yankees Red Sox, which is Jimmy, New York sports, bro. New York sports.
Okay.
I see you posted on Facebook, ranting away. It's
I put one post up on Facebook, and I told Aaron Boone to put away his damn analytic pencil and pad because it's never won him shit. And start to manage by his gut instead of his stupid analytics, because baseball used to be about feeling, a read for the game, understanding an urgent situation and not pussyfooting around because analytics tells you to take out your stud starter. He did in game 1 with the Red Sox what he did in game 1 last year against the Dodgers in the World Series. Put away your pad and start thinking with your freaking guts and your common sense. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, first of all, there's always room for analytics because analytics usually...
Oh, bullshit.
Of course, come on, dude. You have
bullshit.
to have analytics. Now, do I agree with the move? Absolutely not.
Not when it turns into paralysis by analysis. I agree that information is always good to have, but it shouldn't be a primary be-all, end-all. You ruin it. It's a condom, Michael. Done.
I will tell you this, that, I was watching the game with my father, and because, my father's living here right now.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, they got to take that guy out. He's exhausted. These players can't go. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea. My gut was to keep him in the game.
Yep.
But again, to me, in sports and in life, there's plenty of room for analytics. But I do agree with you, Jimmy, that you do need to have some sort of gut feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You do. And you also have to apply analytics smartly, and that's what the Red Sox manager's been doing for quite some time now. And he knew in game 1 to just make sure that he pinned all the left-handed bats to the bench. I'll keep Boone paralyzed through common sense with analytics, not just, well, it says right here that he only hits 20 percentage points lower against them. Stop it. Just feel it, get a feel, for God's sake. Sometimes you do send somebody up there that you would say, no, what are you doing that for? They're going to get a hit. It happens. Analytics didn't tell anybody that Brian Doyle was going to hit 438 in the 1978 World Series because Willie got hurt. All right? So somewhere in the middle lies the truth, Mike.
Absolutely. I want to thank Ribshot, who made a friggin' awesome video of one of our older interviews with the great Scott Hall. Jimmy, should I play it for the audience as we gather our information?
I think it's awesome.
All right, let me try to get this together here. So just bear with me here. I'm going to share screen. Give me a second. I got this thing is like dark, dude. So it's okay. All right, here we go. All right, my friend, here we go.
Yes.
You do.
Yeah.
Vince too.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to sit through 3 hours of Raw. I'll admit it. I mean, to me, NXT is the hottest show, and mainly because it's new guys, and it's only 1 hour.
And it's short.
It's 1 hour.
Yeah, extension. Yeah.
The very first Raws were 1 hour, and they were hot.
Mm-hmm.
3 hours is brutal.
We had Tatanka about a week ago, a week and a half ago, and he was telling us the young talent doesn't respect the legends like yourself, because you are a legend now, right?
Well,
how do they approach you when they see you in the locker room?
Most of the guys are real cool to me and real respectful.
I would think they would be.
Because
to you.
Yeah.
To you.
I mean, that's how I came up. There's some guys you like more than others as a fan, but I was respectful to everybody. Been thanking them for laying the groundwork, like doing what you did allows me to make a good living doing this. And I always looked at it like that. Plus, a lot of guys you're like a fan of, like, holy cow. I remember the first time I saw Killer Kowalski in the back. I was like, holy shit.
That's Killer Kowalski.
And I remember Triple H was, he trained Triple H. So they're traveling together. And they're sharing a room. And I had to go, bro, does he sleep with that brutal wig on? and he went, and Paul went like, yeah. And I went, oh. I said, you can't say something to me? He goes, I don't know. Like Paul was really shy. And, I don't know. I said, oh, you'd be doing him a favor. Tell him it's brutal. But, it's really cool to see the old timers in the back and stuff.
Love it, Jimmy. I love it, man. I love it.
It's great. Put a lot of work into it.
I got to tell you, though, God rest his soul, Scott Hall was pretty fucking, like, just the way he spoke was really cool. And by the way, the president, Phil DeCesare, is in the studio today. I got to tell you, I cannot acknowledge him until this series is over, Jimmy.
He's a polite Boston fan. He's not an obnoxious.
No, dude. At some point, you have to have enemies at the gate, right? So,
look
again,
at you.
What?
Look at you. I remember, you're triggering a memory. I remember I played with a guy on my baseball team. That guy was the best player I ever played with, but he was also, everything was a competition to him. And what you just said, he would have attacked you. And you know what? He was pretty big, so it would have been interesting watching the two of you go back and forth. Because he turned to me one time, because I referred to the Yankees as us, as we. Like you just said, well, we've got to draw battle lines, blah, blah, blah. And he turned to me and he goes, us? We? He goes, what, do you fucking get a paycheck from the Yankees? You fucking play for them? You think they give a shit about you? And this goes back to the stuff that you remember with.
Yeah, he's right, but he's right.
So it's like that's what I'm thinking of right now. I really don't have anything mathematically as a Yankee fan, and the fact that we've been around a long time, I don't have anything mathematically to feel bad about against any team. I've seen more championships for my team than any other team in my lifetime. My team is the Yankees. I don't go out of my way to be like, ha, ha, ho, ho, he, he. When they come to us and do it, I'm like, yeah, okay, you've been doing well lately. But in the scheme of things in my entire life, you're still way behind us. I really don't give a damn. So I guess it's the only team I can have that for, Mike. You'll forgive me if I rest easy being a Yankee fan.
I understand, but you can't rest easy. I don't know how it's been since 2009 since we won a World Series.
I lived through a longer one. When Munson's plane went down, we didn't win for 18 seasons.
But you know what? You were a kid. Odds are you were going to live through it. But you know what?
Tell that to a young Jet fan. Tell that to a young Jet fan who was born in 1980.
Yeah, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, that's my exact point. And I will tell you too. I'm getting so tired of getting vested. I said I'm not sitting down to watch them. Right? I'm just not.
Right.
And here I am watching game one.
Right.
And after Boone does his Boone thing and Aaron Judge does his Aaron Judge thing and the Yankees do their Yankee thing,
Right.
I walked out in the seventh inning. I like slammed the door. I went to the gym because I'm like, I'm not
Yeah.
dealing with this shit. Little I know is I'm on the elliptical. They load the bases with no men out. Nobody out.
Right.
And we can't even bring in 2
Because
runs.
they're not.
I mean,
they're
come
not
on.
about. They're not about. They're not a traditional baseball team. They are what baseball teams are today. Everybody swing for the fence. Very, very rarely is there situational hitting anymore. I don't see it. You know, they have a loaded lineup and their batting averages are abysmal. And that's okay today. That's perfectly okay today. In the old days, if you hit 210, you're not in the lineup. You're not. Doesn't matter what you do. You're not in the lineup.
Dude, I was looking at the averages of both teams and the players.
Horrible.
It's
Horrible.
you're right. It is just awful.
I've been
They're like
screaming, do you
230
realize-
across the board.
When we grew up, we saw guys like Rod Carew, Tony Gwynn. You know, these guys were, Derek Jeter. These guys were situational hitters. They could hit to the opposite field. They could chop it down if they felt the guy could get in from third, if that's what the situation called
But you know
for.
what, dude? You know what? I'm amazed at the lack of logic of these professionals, right? Like that Red Sox, I forget who the Red Sox player was, but he should have scored. It's like, it's 2 outs,
have
bro.
scored.
What are you doing?
Absolute
It's like,
brain
know
freeze.
the situation. It's almost embarrassing.
Absolute brain freeze, and then Jazz gets a chance to do something, and he gets that winning run, man. And if he didn't react just the way he did, he's not getting in. He just got in.
No, but smart. That's real baseball. And here's the other thing
what?
too. That's bothering me, dude.
Yeah.
So now they could shift towards the center of the field, but they can't do a shift anymore. Like, why would you? Like, my father agrees that they shouldn't be allowed to do a shift because it's ruining the game. Learn how to lay a bunt down. Learn how to hit it to the opposite field. You're getting paid millions and millions of dollars. You're punishing a team for getting smart? I mean, come on already.
And it's funny you say that because they tried that. People don't remember, but in the late 70s, they tried that on Reggie. Reggie comes to the plate, and this was way ahead of its time. All of a sudden, everybody has got the shift. And Reggie looks at them, and he's like, are you kidding me? So they threw Reggie a pitch down the middle, and he just went like this. He chopped the ball down the third base. There's nobody standing there. So he's standing at first base, and he goes like this. He's like, what are you doing? What do you think? I don't know how to do that?
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, if you could just hit to the opposite field or lay down a bunt, you're gonna make people stop doing it.
They don't make baseball players anymore, Mike. They're teaching them about launch angles and your OPS. And you know, it's hilarious. I see these lifetime stats, and now they're leaving out a batting average. I'm like, to me, it's still the basics.
I will tell you, I did notice the batting averages were really low, but the OPSs were very high. And I'm like, that doesn't seem right to me. Like, I was trying to, because I got to be honest with you, I didn't watch baseball a year. I am tired of watching and look. I don't need the extra aggravation. I got so infuriated the other night. I'm like, and last night I'm biting my nails. I'm like, what am I doing?
Right. I don't know.
And after watching the Jets every fucking week.
I don't even respond that way anymore. I actually call everything before it happens. It's pretty funny watching the folks here watch me watch the Jets. I'm calling plays. I'm like, watch what's going to happen now. And it happens. And I'm like, I'm like, I don't care anymore. I've grown indifferent to it. And I think it makes it worse because in the old days, the Yankees were the consistent winner. Even when we were younger, they were the consistent winner. We don't have any winners right now in New York, and that's the problem. Especially when sports is supposed to be an outlet for a very stressful place. By the way, I made a huge mistake today. I've given this idiot catnip, all right? And he is just destroying the whole room.
Catnip's like a drug, dude. It's like crack.
If you see shit falling, or if like the mattress suddenly hits me in the back of the head or whatever the hell, it's because Bruce is high as a freaking kite. Get out of here.
I want to remind everybody, 8:45 on our second show, we've got Kerry Morton, a major up-and-coming star, so that'll be a hell of an interview. We got a good show tonight. We're going to go over the 10 top pro wrestling rivalries, whether real or scripted, what Monte thinks of the top 10, and Jimmy and the fan base out there, feel free to weigh in and say, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, because usually I don't. That's for sure. Couple things I want to cover, Jimmy.
Yeah.
500 level has now improved on the M&P code. Now go to MP30 for 30% off. Jimmy, I got to tell you something, right? I was at the beach, again, 500 level, If you guys haven't looked at the shirts, right, go to the website. It's incredible. And I got to be honest, right? So it was a little chilly today. I brought the dogs to the beach. I was off work for the Jewish holidays,
today.
right?
It's cold.
It was cold,
Yeah.
but
Well,
I have from 500 level, I have a Roman Reigns sweatshirt. Now, usually sweatshirts are not always the nicest fabric, unless I'm into really nice fabric because I just don't like things up against my skin. So usually I'll get thinner type of shirts, but this is a heavy sweatshirt. The fabric, unbelievable. And you're going to get a deal at 30% off, Jimmy. I mean, my God, it's a no-brainer, guys. I am telling you, once you get one shirt from them, you'll get 50. I guarantee it. And they've got all the sports. Yeah, dude, tell me what you think of it, Jimmy.
They're so comfortable. I got to get a long sleeve now. I'm telling you, I got to, because it was chilly today, especially for a guy who's been in Panama City Beach the last 2 years. It was chilly today, and I love the material. It's so silky. Is that the right word for it? I don't know.
No, absolutely, absolutely, dude.
It's so comfortable. So yeah, I got to get myself some leveled long sleeves. That's for sure. 30%.
And again,
off,
it doesn't. They got plenty of wrestling stuff. They got baseball stuff. They've got football. They got everything, dude. MMA. They got it all, man. And I'm telling you, it's very high quality. Again, 500 level code MP30, 30% off. So if a T-shirt costs you $20, what's 30% off on $20, dude?
It's enough. 10 plus another 20% tacked on top. Not much. It's a steal. It's a steal.
I agree. I want to remind everybody too, the Monte and the Pharaoh show, hit the QR code, be willing to check out our shows on YouTube, where we got almost 24,000 subscribers. Go to our Facebook page where we're approaching 27,000 subscribers. And again, if you feel like donating to the show, please go to the Monte and the Pharaoh webpage, hit donate. Helps us bring in more guests. Trying to entertain Jim. We've got the big event coming up, so a lot of good stuff happening right now.
Yes, sir.
Let me just put those QR codes up again. Feel free to scan them right off the screen there. Again, I know originally we were supposed to have former WWE writer Jason Solomon on with his new Gorilla Monsoon book from ECW Press, but rumor has it someone made a call. So we have a deal with ECW Press when they have new books coming out. They want put their publishers on our show. And rumor has it someone made a call and begged Jason not to come on. What do you think? Are we becoming really hated, Jimmy, or what?
What do I think? What do you think? I think that I missed the days where people didn't do their shit shiftily and we just had a big brawl in the backyard. That's what I think. I'm so how I feel about this shit.
I hear you.
So to me it's like, hey, just I'm right here. Why don't you just come on over and explain to me why you're such a douchebag about whatever it is you're being a douchebag about? And,
well, like I said, we'll see who has more clout, right? That's all.
Please.
Nicole Kidman, Keith Urban. Nicole Kidman's filed for divorce. Keith Urban has been caught cheating, and Nicole's not very happy. What do you think of how do you like the look of Nicole? Can you see her there, Jimmy?
Yeah, I can see her. What was he cheating with? His hand? I mean, doesn't he consider himself fortunate enough? What's going on?
This is what he was cheating with, my friend, right here.
Really?
I'm not so sure he upgraded here, man.
That's a downgrade. And I don't even need my glasses, bro. That's a downgrade.
So wait a minute. All right, let's measure this. Let's measure this real quick. Didn't he see her
in the others? I mean, she's fantastic. What the hell's going on here?
Okay, so Nicole Kidman, much older lady. Okay.
So what? That doesn't. That means nothing to me. Go ahead.
Younger girl. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Big deal.
As the women get older, they're probably not so sexually inclined, where the younger ones might. So that would be an upgrade to go to the younger. But as far as looks go,
Mike,
I'm going to stop.
Mike, I got to stop you. Did you use analytics when you speak about the older women? Was that an analytical report you read, or was that
This was actual. So part of your analytics is when you ask people questions, right? And they tell you what's going on, right? So yeah, I don't know if they're official analytics, Jimmy, but I got to tell you, I think they are.
Oh, you're funny. Okay, so you think that what you're saying is that there was webs in the sack, and that he went to a younger person, even though she looks slightly like a toad. Is that what you're
She
telling me?
doesn't look. All right, let's be fair, dude. She don't look like a toad. She's not that bad looking. She's okay.
Okay, all right, hold on. This is the Halloween season. Put a big mole on her nose with all black and a witchy poo hat, and you don't think we're onto something?
but you have to put the wart. The wart has to be real, right? And
But
by
you
the way,
don't
I gotta
think-
tell you, can I give you a Monteism?
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
can't stand women with moles on their face, dude,
Nice.
or neck. Like,
Interesting.
like you know, can I tell you something that happens to me all the time?
What do you do? Work around it? Like,
No, I don't work at it at all. I'll be honest with you. Like, here's a perfect example, and I'm real.
Yeah, boy.
So you put on AEW, right? MJF, one of the more popular wrestlers, right?
Sure.
He has this mole on his neck. I can't concentrate when he's on the air, man.
Doesn't he have a scarf to cover it? I thought he wears a scarf. What's going on here?
Yeah, look, dude, I'm gonna.
Don't show me the mole. I don't.
I gotta show you the mole,
Jesus
dude, because you
Christ,
gotta
what's
understand
wrong
why the
with you.
It's like remove the mole,
This is
bro.
what you pick up on watching MJF.
I can't certain things I cannot
Oh,
concentrate,
my
dude.
God.
And you brought up a good point about that
That's
girl.
ins-
You put
Yeah.
a wart on her, she's witchy poo. I get it, but
Right.
she doesn't. So it really doesn't count. But if she did, look, Jimmy, look. How
Doesn't
can
count.
you concentrate watching wrestling when you see that mole all the time?
I got to admit that I'm going to do my best to never concentrate on his mole if I ever see him, because then will have turned into you, an absolute weirdo.
So you think it's weird?
I think it's strange that you fixated on his mole.
Well, aren't there things that bother you?
So fuck. I don't know. I've never thought about that. Okay, all right. I know what you're getting at. My dad used to remember Sam Rosen from the Rangers.
Sure.
Okay, way back when Sam was young, Sam was just a in the studio news announcer. He wasn't with the Rangers regularly yet, and he had a fake tan, and his forehead was super exposed. And my father used to call him Gold Dome, and said, "I can't concentrate with this stupid tanned giant forehead." And yeah, so I guess you're like my dad. Congratulations. That's
Well, look, dude, it's like guys with really bad wigs. Look, there's certain things you just can't recover from. Okay,
So-
let me ask you this, Jimmy. I got to be honest with you. So you date when you're younger, right? You're dating this really hot girl, right? Are you going to go on a date with her? You're really excited. She's absolutely stunningly beautiful, right?
I know you're
And then you go for the kiss, and her breath smells like dog shit.
Okay,
Do you recover from that, dude?
That's a little different than fixating on a televised wrestler's.
No, it
role.
isn't. It's the same. Can I tell you a quick
It's
story?
the same.
I was working. I was kind of starting to see a girl, right? Way back, and we went to the gym together, right?
Okay.
So I'm hitting the bench press, right? And then she gets on the bench press, and I'm spotting her, and she's pushing, and the breath came out. I was done,
Okay.
dude. I was done.
Okay.
Done.
Okay. I'll meet you halfway. As far as like physical, I guess you're referring to MJF's mole like a physical deficiency. So I'll use that. I was horrified one time when there was this smoking hot girl that I met in Cali, and we went back to hang out at my place, and there happened to be like a birthmark in a very strange area. And I was like,
where was
well,
it?
it wasn't, planted in the zone, but it was like in the inner thigh near the zone. And it was big. And I was like, whoa.
You were like, whoa.
Well, think about it. You're driving down the highway, and all of a sudden there's this like caution thing. Like, you can't drive over it because you'll slam your vehicle right into it. So you really don't want to hit the object. Yeah, it was very strange, So I guess I could say that there was a physical deficiency that made me pause.
All right, well, let me ask you this.
know.
And again, you're MJF, you're making a ton of money. Don't you just get rid of this thing? Just get rid of it, bro.
Oh boy. So did David Letterman's teeth bother you back in the day with that big gap between them?
No. Gap in teeth did not bother me because most bodybuilders have it, so I was used to it.
Okay.
Give me another one.
I think it's very sexy on women when they have that going on, but
The gap teeth? Get the fuck
If
out
it,
of here.
yeah, if it's right, yeah, it looks fine. Doesn't bother me at all.
Really?
Yeah, doesn't bother me
I
at
don't
all.
know, man. To me, it makes women look stupid. I don't like
Does
stupid
it?
women, dude. I like smart women. I
Well,
like smart, powerful women, dude.
nobody likes stupid women. And by the way, powerful
Yeah,
women are the
you
most
got the
dangerous
missing
of
teeth.
all.
Like, "Ugh." It's like, come on, dude. Really? Come on.
The missing meth teeth. Hi.
Dude, that's another thing, dude. It's like, I can't stand like really bad teeth. Like, people have like this,
Yeah,
they could have the straightest teeth in the world, but if like all dark and shadowy, or I've
yeah.
noticed a couple of people I've recently met have like yellow things going up and down their teeth.
Interesting.
It is interesting. How about Charlotte Flair? She should have got rid of the mole. I think she has that mole
What?
going. I think she got rid of it, dude.
Did she?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anyway,
That never bothered me one way or the other.
reminding everybody that we've got the young Morton in at 8:45. Just so we remember. All right, dude. You ready for the list? Greatest
I guess
feuds.
I am. I
Feel
guess I'll
free
have
to rip me apart at number 10. Randy Macho Man Savage, Hulk Hogan. Widely known as both of them not getting along personally, and the back and forth feuds, whether it be in the WWE and then eventually into WCW. Thoughts on that is number 10, Jimmy.
How is that number 10, first of all? And we haven't even looked at the rest, and I'm already saying to myself, how the hell is that number 10?
You think it should
And
be much lower?
much lower. And on top of it, there was true legitimate heat between them. You know what's sad? Number one was you showed that awesome picture. They're all dead. Number
Dude,
one.
you know, you're so smart. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like,
Well, most
my
people
God,
do.
I still can't
You
get
know.
over the fact that the Hulkster's gone, dude.
Yeah, they're all dead. Number two, as I looked at that picture, I thought to myself, because I remember when Macho Man was raging on Hogan and blaming him for Elizabeth, and not that Elizabeth didn't have her own demons or wasn't warped from the way Randy was with her. Let's like Hogan came across some people that really were screwed up, man. I'm thinking about Bubba. I'm thinking about how Macho flew off the handle on him. I'm like, what the, And he loved these people. He did.
Dude,
I
I
mean,
also think that
very
Hogan
messy.
took care of Hogan, just like anybody
Sure.
else would.
They all would have
And
done the same
people's
thing.
feelings get hurt when that happens, right?
Yeah, they do. I guess they do. But there was some unreasonable shit. They don't tell me Hogan's behind the reason why you and Elizabeth broke up. I mean, I didn't agree with what he was doing then. I'm like, stop it. At some point, don't you blame yourself for anything? What, he wasn't
Well,
overly,
let me ask you something. Do you think
know,
Savage was a good-looking guy?
not particularly. I had an
He
incredible
was not,
body.
right? He was
But
not
I
a
could see,
good-looking guy.
yeah, but it's in the eye of the beholder. I'm sure there were plenty of women who thought he was hot for various reasons. I don't fucking know.
Jimmy, all right.
I don't
So,
think so.
as
I mean,
well
but
as
what
you
do I know?
know, you're a smart guy, right?
Shawn
So,
Michaels was a good-looking guy back in the day.
yes,
You know,
that was a good-looking guy. Yeah.
That's a good-looking guy. Honestly, I thought Marty Jannetty's a much better-looking guy than.
Not Shawn Michaels. I think Shawn Michaels better. I asked that.
No, not than Shawn Michaels, who we're talking about right now. You asked me
Oh,
Macho Man. I
you
think
talking
I'd
about
rather be
Randy?
Marty. Yeah, I'd rather be Marty Jannetty back in the day as far as looks goes than Macho Man.
Part of the problem is too, like I was thinking about Elizabeth, right? And it's like this dude was on fire every day. Could you
Right.
imagine having to deal with that every fucking day? It's like, bro, come on. We've talked about dealing with women that are over complicated. Like, we were talking about if you dated Ariana Grande and she dumped you, like, where would you go from there? But, like Nikki Bella, could you imagine
No.
dealing with that? That's like,
No.
but Randy Savage is the female Nikki Bella.
I don't know if I would say that's entirely accurate, but I know what you're saying. You're saying that Randy Savage was very high maintenance. And he was.
Very high maintenance, dude. Very high
Very
maintenance.
high maintenance. And Elizabeth was the opposite of him in personality, but Elizabeth also had a compulsive, addictive personality. That's why she ran off with Lex and was doing whatever she was doing. And you can't. But he should have had a lot more wrath towards Lex Luger than Hulk.
But they were already broken up at that point, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he kept ranting and raving about Hogan for years after that. That rap stuff was years after.
Yeah, but I think it was more of listen, dude. We will never know the exact truth, but I think there was a lot of you know what? I think when push came to shove, Hogan wielded a lot of power, just like John Cena has wielded a lot of power in the
Right.
industry. And
Right.
sometimes they got to do what they got to do to make their money. I mean, in the end,
Right.
let me ask you something. In the end, would you rather have more people like you or live in a mansion that John Cena lives in? I'd rather take the mansion. You know what I'm saying?
And the bottom line is anybody who thinks that one is definitively right over the other, when egos become involved, these guys had huge egos too. They didn't just have wealth, power, fame. They had huge egos through that wealth, power, and fame. And like you said, we'll never know what really went on there, but I'm sure that both of them with their huge egos at some point it had to clash, and it did. That's it. Lennon and
Yeah.
McCartney couldn't get along either. So it is what it is.
Well, I think eventually that happens to everybody, right? All right. Number 9, Dusty Rhodes against Ric Flair. By the way, there's a video out there, CM Punk's top Mount Rushmore of wrestlers.
Okay.
And Dusty Rhodes is on that Mount Rushmore. It might not even be more. It might be the top 10 wrestlers. And
Right.
Dusty Rhodes is in it, does not mention Hogan at all.
He hates Hogan. Punk's never liked Hogan.
But
Punk's a Dusty Rhodes guy.
but it doesn't matter if you hate someone, you have to recognize
Some
what they
people don't.
are.
Some people don't. I don't agree with it. You know, can I see Dusty Rhodes being on someone's Mount Rushmore? Absolutely. It depends on where you were raised, how you came up, and how you look at wrestling. You know,
Do you think it's fair that's on number 9, Dusty and Rick?
Flair and Rhodes, I could see Flair and Rhodes being higher.
Sure, I got it. That's fair.
I could see it.
You know, it's funny. I was like, as I'm making a list, I'm thinking to myself, like, how many times will Flair and how many times will Hogan show up on this list? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Well, outside of what comes later with Austin and Rock, it's Flair and Hogan first, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking about that feud in general. Like, we were younger, right? So we just didn't understand the dance of pro wrestling, I think. And
Okay.
to me, what made that feud so great is Ric Flair always holding on to the belt and Dusty Rhodes always chasing and eventually getting that win, which would only last
Right.
a month. You know what I mean? And then he
Right.
was back on the chase again, whether then he'd end up in the U.S. title or
Well,
the TV
it's
title or whatever the fuck it is.
it really is. You know, more so in a lot of ways for the common everyday person, more so than Hogan and Savage, because Hogan and Savage were really over the top characters. They were superheroes in many ways. Flair represented the businessman, as he said, the Learjet flying and all that other stuff. With he was always the professional heel that you just despised if you were the common person. And there's Dusty, son of a plumber, for God's sakes. I mean, like, and the two of them with their promos, both of them just were like the best at what they did. So this is really much more hits at home for the everyday person, probably than Hogan Savage, Flair versus Rhodes. It was a perfect matchup.
Let me
It
let me
really
ask you
was.
this. I mean, kind of going
Yeah.
off subject, but
Mm-hmm.
when we started watching Georgia Championship Wrestling, when we finally got cable and TBS and all that shit, when you looked at the WWE and you looked at Georgia Championship Wrestling, did you look at the wrestling as being totally different from one another? I don't remember us discussing that in our younger ages. Like, did we just take it as we did?
No, because in those early days, and I had access to Gordon Sully through Florida Championship Wrestling for a couple of years before we finally got Georgia Championship Wrestling. In the early days, we were still with Vince Sr. for the most part, especially when I started in '79 or so. So it was wrestling. It was a sports presentation. Uh, it wasn't the show yet. It wasn't the entertainment yet. It wasn't. It was a sporting presentation. And Vince McMahon was a very serious play-by-play announcer. There was no entertainment other than the sports presentation itself. Bruno Sammartino, Larry Zbyszko, Pedro Morales, Ken Patera. When Morocco comes in, he's still a wrestler first and foremost. It's not all about entertainment. One time he ate a sandwich. 20 years later, that could be part of your gimmick, coming out and eating a sandwich during a match. You do it every week. You know what I mean? This was still wrestling. is what I'm
But
getting at. And
when
that's
you
why
look
we
at
didn't discuss it.
number 10, Hogan and Savage, and number 9, Rhodes and Flair, which seemed more real to you?
More real? More real is Flair and Rhodes. More real. Which one am I going to watch or want to watch more? Hogan Savage. I'm just hammering home that this was a much more blue collar type matchup that the fans at home could probably really sink their teeth into. And the Hogan Savage thing is much more superhero stuff, and we've proven over the years with the success of comic book characters in the movie theaters, people could sink their teeth into that gladly too.
Good comments, Jimmy, man. Good comments. All right,
Good
number
days.
8. Number 8. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, maybe one of the more harder few. There's Gorilla Monsoon, who we're supposed to talk about tonight.
Yeah.
That guy's made our list, by the way, now. By the way, Brian
Yeah, well,
Solomon.
Mike,
You made
by
our
the way,
list.
let me just throw this in really quick. You're very kind because I'm sure down the road you'll, if they want to have other folks on, I'm sure you'll entertain that. But to me, it's like, okay, well, if you do that, then maybe we won't have a spot for your guys next time. Maybe we'll have somebody that we feel is more worthy. How's that? But that's me. I don't take that shit lightly. I know you don't either, but you're more of a gentleman than I am, so kudos to you.
Well, it's not that. It's not that, Jimmy. It's just like I don't like you plan, right? There's there's work behind this. So
don't fuck around.
When you fuck around, you cause a lot of headaches, and that's annoying, and you don't want us to make headaches for you because we can.
Yeah.
We've done it before.
And by the way, we don't do this for free. So piss off.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So piss off on your high horse, all right? Go on.
All right, back to Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. Yeah, this could easily be higher because this is another one that's seated in real life dislike, man. These guys can't stand each other. And this is really good polar opposites. It's weird. Let's think about polar opposites when we've discussed these 3 feuds so far. Hogan, Savage, Flair, Rhodes, Hart, Michaels. Now, Flair, Rhodes is obviously polar opposites. We explained that previously. Hart, Michaels is definitely polar opposites. You've got Mr. Surly Tactician, good guy, and Mr. Flamboyant Prick, pretty boy, Shawn. It's perfect. It's perfect. Are Hogan and Savage polar opposites? Not as much.
Not as much. No, you're right.
Isn't that interesting? And the one that would draw the biggest ratings is Hogan Savage. I find that fascinating. But Hart versus Michaels, amazing shit. This could easily be higher. And to this day, you and I still go back and forth whether or not the whole thing was a shoot or a work regarding the screw job. So I could see this being higher on the list. Bret never stops, by the way.
Well, so
what
far,
is Bret's problem? Bret never stops.
I was thinking about Bret Hart the other day. I don't know why I'm thinking about these guys.
He never stops. He never stops.
But Bret Hart, you know what? He was a great wrestler.
Yes.
Had a good look. Had it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? His mic skills, as much as people want to say they weren't very good, they were good.
No, I don't say they were. I never said they weren't very good. They were good. It could have been better. That's all.
Jimmy, I don't think they should have been better. It
right.
almost his mic work reflected the wrestler. He was all business, and he didn't have any funny in him.
And let me make this clear: never once did Bret Hart hurt himself with a promo. Okay,
never.
So I've never said anything like that. I just felt like in a sea of guys that were really, really engaging on that microphone, Bret was dry. So
now, of the 6, the 3 feuds and the 6 wrestlers that were in the my top 10, 9, 8, every one of them could be in someone's Mount Rushmore, right? You couldn't argue with any one of them.
Absolutely, they're all that kind of material. Agreed.
All right, so far you've got 10, 9, and 8. You think they should be in a better spot, right?
They could be. I could see them being higher. But we haven't hit what's higher, so let's see what we got.
Number 7, the Von Erichs versus the Fabulous Freebirds. I don't think this can. When you talk about rivalries, fake or real, this has got to be in everybody's top 10 list. End of story, in my opinion. Forever and ever and ever and ever.
Greatest tag team rivalry, right?
Well, it's a
I
rivalry.
can't.
It doesn't matter. Tag team, I don't give a shit.
No,
Right?
I'm
It's a
just thinking
rivalry.
though. I'm trying to think of other rivalries and tag teams that would have. I guess there's a few, but this is the
Give me
one.
one. Give me one that was
Well, I
important.
was just
Tag
thinking
team
about
rivalry.
I was just thinking about the Express, and I know the Express had major feuds with the
Yeah,
Express.
like Rock and Roll Express or
Yeah.
I got it.
But this is the blueprint of any. This is the greatest tag team feud by far. This is amazing. I can't wait to see what the rest of these matchups are, because all four of these are freaking fantastic.
I agree. I agree. What did the Freebird Von Erich feud mean to you? I know I was more of a WCCW guy, but what did it mean to you?
I'm always amazed at your complete love affair with the Von Erichs, because we didn't get too much exposure to it. I don't feel like we did.
We didn't. But the thing was, the magazines looking at them,
Right.
and then seeing the Freebirds. And really, my first introduction to the Freebirds, Jimmy, was when they went to the AWA and they showed
Right.
the Bad Street USA video, because that used to be on ESPN, right?
Right.
So I was like, "Holy shit!"
Right.
Now and then, all of a
Right.
sudden, you start getting WCCW, and then you start watching some of the older programming. I don't know how I was able to, but I know I did.
Right.
And then I was
Right.
told, and again, Kerry Von Erich, my God.
Right. It's funny too, and I'll stand by this, and this may sound strange. And unfortunately, David died young, so we didn't get to see him finish what I think he was going to finish. Michael Hayes and Kerry Von Erich, both. People always love to say, well, Hogan kept his spot in the WWF. Well, you know what? If Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes weren't so busy hogging, let me play devil's advocate, weren't so busy hogging the main event spotlight from Florida to Georgia up to the North Carolina area, perhaps Michael Hayes, who I'm telling you, he was the shit when he was a young man and the leader of the Freebirds. Oh my God, did he have world championship written all over him? And the same thing, obviously, with Kerry and David. We lost. David would have been the guy to bulldog through that door. He would have, because he was a worker and he wanted to be world champion, and he could have done the work, and he would have done the work, David. So I could see David going, all right, move aside, guys, share it for a while. Which is sad, because Kerry didn't have that wherewithal, dude. Kerry was just trying to get one day at a time, the way Kerry was living. And Michael was all fucked up too. Hey, rock
Well, I mean,
star.
I'll be 100% honest with you. I think if they had their shit together a little bit more, WCCW could have
done a lot.
bypassed WCW for sure, and
Could've
probably
done a
not
lot.
WWE. Yeah, and I was thinking about the other day of the library. Again, go to the Monte and the Pharaoh, YouTube page or the Facebook page, and you could see the library. Just scan this QR code and get going with it, and you could see all the guys. But I was thinking, who did we have on? We've had Brian Adius, right? Scott Casey, Bill Irwin,
Right.
Shit. Who
From
else?
the Texas area?
From WCCW.
Oh, a lot. I figured this is more your deal. You know all these guys.
We had Tom, right?
Had
The
a lot.
bodyguard, the WCCW bodyguard.
Yep.
And I was thinking
Had a
about
lot.
Holly. I was thinking about Holly Von Erich when we had her on, which I love that interview.
Uh-huh.
Do you know we got a lot of shit on our webpage about the way we handled her? People
What's
felt
that?
like we were muscling her around and putting her in a real bad predicament.
I don't remember any of that.
Listen. I always wonder why people say things, and respectfully, I respect everybody's opinion, but it's like,
right.
I was a little shocked, to be honest with you.
You know what? We should put up before our broadcast warning. If you are coming here for strictly to get pro wrestling questions and answers, you've come to the wrong place. There will be wrestling questions asked, but there will also be real life questions asked. Some way to word that, like a warning, like, hello, this is who we are, especially after doing this for 8 years now. Hello.
Well, I got to tell you, as a fan, having them on our show again, Jimmy, I'm proud of the work that we've done here together. Okay, listen. So we've got 10, 9, 8, 7. At number 6, CM Punk, John Cena. What do you think there? I think Cena
Interesting.
deserves to be in the top 10. And, as much as I'm not a big Phil fan,
Yeah, I guess this is, I always feel like Cena's greatest rival is Randy, but this is probably the most famous one. I mean, he's got the stuff with Brock too, but no, this is the one that basically would be the one.
you really think Randy is his greatest feud?
I think it's his Joker. Yeah, I do. I mean,
I
traditionally,
would think that Edge would have been his Joker, don't you
no, I
think?
don't believe. No, I don't think so. No, I think traditionally it's been John and Randy all these years, and it's been explored multiple times over the years, as even recently. It's his longest, most consistent foe. Let me put it that way. That's how I
Fair
look at
enough.
Randy. That's what I think
So,
about
but
that.
you don't agree with CM Punk, John Cena.
No,
By the way, the
I
bodyguard's name is
do.
Bill Colville. I just had one of
Bill,
those
yes,
old
Bill
man brain
Colville. Yep,
freezes.
yep.
Another fantastic interview.
Oh, he
Dude,
was
I
great.
love these WCCW guys, dude. I just love everything about them. But go ahead. What you say to Punk and
He was
Cena?
great, Bill Colville. Well, this is the one that really changed everything. There is no. I'll be bold with it, but it's the truth because everything has a point of origin. If Punk doesn't walk away from the John Cena and the Rock and all that other stuff, there is no eventual birth of an AEW because Cody Rhodes is watching what Punk is doing. People were taking notes. Hey, I can go somewhere else. I can do other things. I don't have to do this. And that led to the birth of AEW with Cody. Bottom line, this is a huge, very important feud. And it is based in personal feelings. Punk has no use for John. I mean, they've learned to work together, obviously. That's what professionals do. I think Punk has become much more professional than he was back then. But yeah, no, this is a great feud. I know you got to get John in on this list somewhere. So, but he moves all the way back up to the top, though, compared to some of the other ones we've been naming.
Okay, so you don't agree with it being in the number 6 spot, right? Was that 10,
Not
9,
ab-
8,
not
7,
above not
6?
above Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. I definitely don't. Hogan Savage? No, I don't think so.
Flair Rhodes, Von Erich's Freebirds.
Traditionally, to me, no, but I might be clinging to tradition right now, which is kind
It's
of
fair.
nerdy.
All right, so number
Kind of nerdy.
5, The
Yeah,
Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
yeah. Well, this to me, look, if we're just talking box office and attraction, this tops all of them so far. Rock Austin
Wow,
was
really?
well.
So when
Think
you're
about it.
talking
Wasn't
must
it?
see,
Well,
that's the one.
isn't it during the highest rated history of professional wrestling? Yes or no?
Attitude Era, agree. Yes, it was.
That would be a yes. Did they or did they not have a trilogy
They did
at
at
WrestleMania?
WrestleManias. Yep.
All right. Okay. So to me, on a business level, forget it. This trumps all of them. This would be at number one right now because of what it did. This was the greatest. The Rock and
So
Austin, and they were polar opposites too in a way. They were
as
great.
a fan, if I think about it, I'd rather see Hogan Savage. I'd rather see Freebirds Von Erich. Then after that, yeah, I would go with The Rock and Stone Cold Steve
I guess
Austin.
you're forgetting about the spectacle of it all. And yes, there would be incredible spectacle with Hogan Savage. Yes, there would be. Von Erich's Freebirds, there'd be some spectacle, but it would be more about the personalities. And then you have, let's put Howard Finkel announcing for WrestleMania, and you hear, "If you smell, put it on." It's 1999, Mike. And
By the
out
way,
comes
Rib
the
Short's asking if you're wearing a Manchester United shirt.
yes, sir. Yes, I am.
Look at that. Phil says the
Um,
Von Erich's Freebirds with a Hatfield and McCoy.
yep,
Rib
totally
says
agree.
he expected
Totally.
Sean and Brett to be number 1.
I can see why it would be. I'm just looking at it from more of like a mainstream overall success of these legendary feuds. And if you're being fiscally and historically responsible, the Rock and Austin is the breadwinner. And they're both absolutely legendary. They're both on people's Mount Rushmores. I could see that, both of them being on it. I don't know. To me, the sheer spectacle of these matches, I would have so far Austin and Rock number 1 and Hogan Savage number 2 on the spectacle of it all and what it did for the box office. But that's where I'm at, Mike.
That's fine. At number 4,
Man.
Ricky Steamboat, Ric Flair. So Ric Flair comes up on the board now a second time.
Right.
You know how I feel about those two, dude. I think it was a match really Randy Savage Steamboat match, you know?
Is this really a feud, or is this just an absolute classic clinic between face and heel, which is what it is? But is this really a feud? Because right away I'm thinking feud, right? That's what this is called. Feud.
Well, they had the trilogy, right?
Yeah. But was it a feud? Like, did it feel... I don't... Because I'm thinking of San Martino's Zbyszko, and I'm going, yeah, that was a feud, okay? And then I look at Flair and Steamboat, and I think that was a trilogy of, like, a clinic on how to do a face versus a heel. But was it a feud for the ages? Like a feud? Doesn't feel like that to me. Did I miss something? I might have. What do you think?
Wrestling back then was a bit strange, right? Because if we remember, Flair is the heel, and then right after winning the title, he also becomes the face as Terry Funk decides to pile drive him, right? So,
right.
Interesting. You know, as I get older, I start to analyze things a little bit differently. And as much as I hated it back then, because I always looked at it as how can we top my match at WrestleMania 3? And they did their damnedest. And I still stand by the fact that they wrestled in front of 5,000 people. And guess what? Doesn't matter how good it is.
Yeah.
No one gave a shit, right? So, and really that does mean a lot. As much, if people don't care, it doesn't really matter, right? So, but that being said, if you talk about the storytelling those two did for that, I understand where you're saying that. Was it really a feud? Was it more like a rivalry?
Right.
Right? More like greatest rivals, not biggest feud. So I could see where I might have not got this one right.
Well, you got it right if it's like, one of the great rivalries, because it had a trilogy and it's legendary. So, in that context, it belongs here. I don't know where I'd put it though so far. I'm not putting it ahead of Hogan Savage or the spectacle of Rock versus Austin during the Attitude Era. I'm not doing that. I'd honestly rather see Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels. Am I allowed to say that?
Oh no, you can. You can. Rib thinks that they're supposed to be. So, all right, number 3, Austin McMahon.
Jeez. Well, doesn't this trump everyone, every single one of them?
I think when you see number 1, you'll agree with me, but I don't think you'll agree with number 2. But when we get to it, but let's talk about Austin McMahon.
Austin McMahon was even bigger than Austin versus The Rock.
Yeah, I agree.
You've got basically the biggest box office success good guy versus the biggest heel in the history of the business. This is one right now on a business level. On a historical level, this is one.
It's funny. I got to ask you. You mentioned Zbyszko, San Martino.
That's a few.
Are you surprised they're not on this list?
Yeah, a little bit, but that's okay because you know what? There was wrestling after 1980.
And I don't think that feud tops any of the ones we're discussing right now, to be honest with you.
That depends. I had to think about that. Go on.
I mean, who could be like,
Historically, as I run down this list so far, no. It doesn't top any of them historically, no. You're right. Go on.
What's the word? Like you don't make the list, but you're like, help the old man. I can't remember. What's the word?
What?
You didn't make
the leftover Jets to the.
No, like you have a list of winners and then the honorable mention. Zbyszko and San Martino get an honorable mention. You know who else gets an honorable mention? Piper Valentine would get an honorable mention.
And Sweater Vest versus the dude who broke his leg and his wife was yelling at him at that independent event.
After he broke his leg.
Yeah, I told you not to
take care of your family. Greatest story ever, guys. Me and Jimmy go to a independent wrestling
Fucking
card,
ridiculous.
and it's held on an outside. There's like no one there.
By the
reason
water.
we went, by the way, because Terry Funk was there taking pictures and signing autographs. So that was
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
So Jimmy and I go sit, watch the match, and there's a guy wrestling, Jimmy's favorite wrestler, sweater vest.
No.
And he's got his kid and his wife there, and he fucking misses his spot, falls out of ring, breaks his leg, and his wife is screaming at him because
Screaming at him.
he's gonna fucking lose his job.
Right. Standing over him, yelling at him while he lies there with his leg pointing south. I'm like, what? Southeast, actually. That was the problem.
Oh, Rib likes Triple H and Foley. Do they deserve to be on here?
It was a nice feud. I don't know if it makes a top 10.
Oh, come on. Phil puts Dreamer Raven. Stop it. Just stop. My God.
He
Fucking
put Dreamer and Raven.
Dreamer and Raven.
Well, in ECW
No.
in ECW annals, not in this scheme of things. No.
You know what that whatever, dude. Anyway, McMahon, Austin. Vince McMahon saved his company, probably the greatest heel of all time against probably one of the greatest faces of all time. We agree that McMahon is the greatest heel of all time.
Yeah, he is. He absolutely is.
He'll never be topped.
Right. Yeah, and the box office says Stone Cold is the most successful face in the history of professional wrestling. So
that's fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
Can't argue.
What?
Number 2, Terry Funk, Ric Flair.
Well, I love this feud, and I love this matchup, and it's fantastic. What the hell is it doing at number 2? Stop it! How did this get all the way up at the top? That it trumps McMahon and Austin?
I'll tell you why.
No, it doesn't.
I'll tell you why, Jimmy. I started thinking about Terry Funk.
Now you're
Terry Funk.
Go ahead.
No, like he would go to Japan. He knew how to wrestle in Japan. He'd go to WCW. Knew how to wrestle in WCW, but their style.
He was great.
He goes to WWE and he could do the whole character shtick with no problem at all.
No.
Right?
Right.
Even Bory Funk couldn't do that, right? Bory Funk couldn't do that. But
Bory Funk couldn't do anything compared to his brother.
Remember Haas Funk? Funk.
Dude, that was some bad stuff. Go on.
Dude, I fucking loved it, dude.
You liked that stuff? No, I like.
You didn't like Terry Funk in the WWE?
No, I did. I loved Terry, but I thought that the rest of the entourage was ridiculous.
And then who was the other Funk?
I thought you were going to start bringing up like other terrible gimmicks, like Uncle Elmer's wedding or some garbage like that.
Uncle Elmer's wedding rocked, by the way. Come on.
Oh, stop it. That was awful. You probably tuned in for Billy and Chuck too, didn't you?
Dude, with the other 10 million people. Yes, I did.
I know. I understand. Ugh. Lame.
So you don't like Flair?
Not all the way up at this position. Look, you mentioned just from a purist thing, Von Erichs and Freebirds, Flair and Rhodes, Flair and Steamboat. Flair and Funk do not belong ahead of, historically speaking, Flair and Steamboat for shit sure. I wouldn't put it above the Von Erichs versus the Freebirds on a historically responsible ranking list, but that's me. And I don't think Flair versus Funk was more famous or had more impact than Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels. No, I don't. And I don't think it had more impact than Hogan and Savage. I hate you, Hulk Hogan. Yeah. No. McMahon Austin? No. Stop. If this is on
I knew you weren't going to like that. I want to remind
number 2. You've got it at number 2. You've got it at number 2. It's too high.
I want to remind everybody at 8:45 we've got this up and coming NWA superstar Kerry Morton will be interviewed by the Howard Sterns of Pro Wrestling, and I want to remind everybody too. Please visit us at the Monte and the Pharaoh website. Just click that QR code. You could donate in case you want to see certain superstars. We're all willing to bring them in, plus on our own. And the Monte and the Pharaoh YouTube page, click there. You can go there, like, subscribe, please. And the Monte and the Pharaoh Facebook page, just click there. All right, number 1. Are you ready?
That's on acid. Go ahead.
Cat on acid. Hogan Andre, number one. Hard to argue. Won't accept argument here. Greatest feud of all time. Most needed feud of all time. Changed the landscape of pro wrestling. Hogan Andre. Friday night's the main event. Over 10 million watching that show.
Well, you basically said everything I would say anyway. It's still the most important one. You don't have anything else without it. They went from arenas to stadiums.
Ooh, this is a good one. Hold on a second. I'm going to put my glasses on, dude, because I can't see. I want to read some of the comments to you.
On a regular basis, stadiums for decades.
All right, here we go. We got Steve Ray Tyler saying Slaughter and the Iron Sheik. Oof, that's a good one, bro.
It's a great feud. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of them. I wouldn't even know where to begin right now because we're running over these. I'm like swamping the.
Phil was saying Slaughter versus the Sheik. Those were great feuds.
That's a great one. Raven Dreamer.
Jason Morning saying he wished Warrior and Rude were on the list. And by the way, Jason, there's a video out there of Rick Rude's son talking about how Rick Rude is about to beat the shit out of the Ultimate Warrior because he couldn't take it. Rib is thinking Pete Rose versus Kane. I'm not going to disagree.
What about Jake and Rick Rude?
Hard to argue, dude.
Come on.
Ooh, here's another one.
Painting his
Snooker Morocco. Nuff said.
Yeah, that was great. It's legendary.
Joe's saying, hey, guys, don't forget Rick Steamboat against Flair. They feuded in the 70s and early 80s.
Right.
Phil is saying he knows how much we love Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer is not on anybody's list, Phil. I'm sorry, pal. Thank you, Phil. Jimmy Jack Funk. I forgot the name. Jimmy Jack Funk. The Funk Brothers. You love that shit, Jimmy.
I did. I remember loving Terry, but I agree with Scott Hall. Bory wasn't for me. He never was.
Which was better? Pat Patterson, Sergeant Slaughter, Iron Sheik, Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh, come on. The alley fight? Nothing tops the alley fight. Stop it.
So you're going with Patterson Slaughter.
Because of the final, the alley fight was, and the Cobra Clutch challenge. No, there was more drama in the Patterson Slaughter feud. Agreed,
dude. You know what? I'm gonna go against the grain and go with you on this one, dude. Because I think you're right.
Look, listen. The Slaughter Sheik thing was just an easy grab, and Vince grabbed it because it was so easy back in those days to do the ethnic thing, and it was just there. Take it, do it. They were both perfect at what they did, and it worked. But the Patterson Slaughter one needed a fine build. You had the announcer. Patterson was like starting to announce. Slaughter starts his Cobra Clutch challenge. Slaughter getting everyone submitting. He starts to slowly insult Patterson. Don't you remember that? You're yellow. You don't want to take the challenge. Don't you? You remember all of this stuff, don't you, Mike?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know? Patterson takes the challenge. Patterson basically gets out of it. He's about to get out of it. And this was months that the Cobra Clutch challenge was going on. And here's Patterson. He's gonna do it. He's gonna get out of it. Slaughter attacks him. Bloody beats the shit out of him. Blah blah blah. And it culminates in this freaking alley fight at Madison Square Garden. The crowd was bloodthirsty. The crowd was rabid.
Dude, I gotta tell you, that Cobra Clutch challenge was so fucking. Right. You looked forward to it every week. Little did you know that they taped it all on the same day, but. You know, for us, it was unbelievable. But wait a minute. Let's be fair to the Sheik Slaughter. That build up was pretty good too. Remember when they were crossing each other, right?
Yes. But that one was more just how do you not do that feud? That one was kind of like ready made.
Right. It's low hanging fruit. I get it.
How do you not do that feud? And that's no discredit. Listen, that's a classic matchup. Those two. It's a great rivalry, but I'm sorry, I enjoyed the Patterson Slaughter one much more. And the alley fight, you're not topping the alley fight.
Well, should either one of those have been on the Monte list?
I could see Sheik and Slaughter. That's where Phil is like. You said Phil came up with that one.
Who gets knocked out? Who gets knocked out for that?
What, for Sheik and Slaughter?
Yeah.
Well, I think Sheik and Slaughter is more historically impactful than Flair and Funk, and you've got him way up there. I got to be honest, that would be the one I would bounce.
I understand. I get it.
I'm not bouncing Hogan and Savage, Flair versus Rhodes, Hart versus Michaels, Von Erich versus Freebirds, Punk versus Cena, no. Rock versus Austin, no. Flair versus Steamboat, no. McMahon versus Austin, no. And Hogan Andre, no. I'm not bouncing any of those. But I would bounce Ric Flair versus Funk for Slaughter Sheik. I would.
That's fair enough. You know what?
me.
It's hard to argue that. I can't really
I
argue
bet
that,
you
man.
there's some other great ones we're forgetting about right now. You know, where it's like, wait a minute, that was better.
How about Piper? Hogan.
Piper Hogan is. Let me see here. Piper Hogan. Well, it's already shows what colors I wear, but I would much rather see Piper Hogan than Flair versus Rhodes. But that's me. Roddy Piper was Hogan's greatest bad guy.
All right, so let's speak about this before we go off the air.
Yeah.
Okay. Flair, Rhodes, Piper, Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry, I put up the Sheik Slaughter thing.
Nice.
Which one was more important feud?
Flair versus Rhodes or Piper versus Hogan? Well,
Yeah, now
obviously
remember,
Piper-
we can't go by.
obvious.
We can't go by like because the WWE was a much more successful place.
Yeah, but but at the time Vince McMahon was taking chances with his every last penny and his college tuitions and stuff like that in his house. So no, nothing was a guaranteed, and 2020 hindsight doesn't apply here. What applies here is what happened. And what happened here is because of Hogan, because of Piper, because of WrestleMania 1, because of MTV, because of everything that comes afterwards, the right players were in the perfect place at the right time to let history turn into what it turned into. Nope, Hogan and Piper is much more important in the landscape of end result and where we are today in this business than Flair and Rhodes. Sorry, that's the truth. And it doesn't matter if I grew up on the East Coast. It matters what happened. And what happened is that Hogan and Piper were the pillars, the good guy, bad guy pillars, the face and the villain that made everything what it is today. So no, Hogan and Piper is it. And Hogan and Andre is the reinforcement of all the steps that it took with Hogan and Piper, because that's the steps that are taken to get to Hogan and Andre, where you are now playing Coliseum level sea of madness. And the whole world wants to know, is Hulk Hogan going to lift Andre the Giant? So no, it all goes back to what happened, and 2020 hindsight doesn't mean crap in the scheme of things, because it's what happened is what happened. And Vince was taking every last chance. Back then, nothing was guaranteed. Vince was dreaming and cashing in on his dreams because he was going for them, and he got them.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked. I personally didn't put Piper and Hogan on there.
Well, maybe it just didn't come to mind. It's just there's a lot of legendary feuds in this business. I'm sure somebody out there is screaming from the territory days about somebody. Oh, what about this one or what about that one?
What about Baron McAllister versus Johnny Rods?
Hey, I tell you what, historically, we didn't mention John Tolos and Freddie Blassie because we weren't around. Sorry.
Yeah, it's really. You don't understand.
They had a legendary feud. If you lived in California back in the 70s, you saw it.
Wow, great.
But I'm not ready to put it above Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
It's a classic, bro.
I can't.
All right, man. We're getting to that 8:45 show.
All right.
Hold on, dude. I got to get prepared because you're going to send this out. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to, again, thank 500 Level for becoming part of sponsor at the Monte and the Pharaoh page. A reminder, code MP30 for 30% off. Come on now, guys. You're going to love it. I want to thank everybody for joining us on a Thursday night where there's so much going on. We're up against a lot of stuff. Kerry Morton at 8:45. I want to thank Rib Shot for making the Monte and the Pharaoh cartoon, dude. We owe you big time. We'll figure out how to make it up to you, dude. That was fucking awesome. Dude, you look a little heavy in that video, though. You look a little bit heavy.
Yeah, why does it always make me heavy and they make you thin? I mean, it's complete lie.
Wow! Oh my God! Yeah,
Well,
you always look fat, and I look nice and trim. I'm like,
yeah,
nice. I
well,
look good.
you're probably conspiring with them to do that. I would think.
You think I'm going behind the scenes on a lot of shit? I'm not. I do behind the scenes shit for the show, but I don't work out deals with Nikki.
Why are you thin and why am I fat with a Sergeant Slaughter jawbone then? What's that?
I think that's just maybe you do look that way, and I just don't see
No,
it
I
that way.
don't. I know I don't. So that's
Well,
very
you know,
strange.
it is
Very
strange.
strange
But
of you.
anyway, let's see everybody.
I see you still have that. I see you still have that diaper on your head, but at least it has a cross on it.
My wife
Where did you
hates
get?
it. My wife
Where did
hates
you
it.
get that? Where did you get that thing?
Ordered off some website I saw. You think
It
it's
looks.
odd that I'm wearing a cross?
No, I like that. It looks comfy. I will say that.
Would you wear it if I got you one?
No.
Now, dude, it doesn't cover your whole head. It just takes the sweat.
Oh,
So you
what
would have
the
your
fuck?
hair. You would
What
have your
is that
hair, and
thing?
you would sweat on it.
Oh, I thought for a second you had like a biker do rag or something. I don't now. I really don't know what that thing is.
Oh, you know what?
Okay.
You know what I meant to ask Phil? I'm like, Phil, what does that say? Oh, don't dig the cross. Hey, Phil, gotta ask you a question, dude. Are you on testosterone, dude? Because that's like the greatest drug ever. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Are you saying that Phil is like doing an Ultimate Warrior? What are you saying?
No, dude, it's like a straight out. Wait a minute, hold on. Briscoes, Jay Willwagon, Briscoes versus the Funks. I'm gonna say no.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Maria
was
Davis back in the house. Maria's had
Yes.
some personal issues. God, glad to have you back, Maria. We missed you
Maria.
tremendously. God bless
What's
you.
up, Maria? Yeah,
All right,
those
dude.
personal issues, they can be rough.
Yeah, they can be.
Yeah, they
They
be
can be.
brutal. Yeah.
You got a personal issue too with like having a bad quarterback on your team.
Are you really going to end the show talking about the fact that if Aaron Glenn loses this week, he's the first coach in our horrendous history ever to go 0-5? Are you really going to?
Can you believe that? As bad as we've been, that possibility could happen that this guy
I'll tell
is
you
the
what.
worst coach.
I'll tell you what, though. One of our players, we finally at least come to the realization inside the locker room. He said, well,
Wait a
the other
minute.
team seems-
Phil goes, no test, just extra rest. Bullshit. You're like the Red Sox, bunch of fucking liars, bastards.
the Red Sox, they don't bang on buckets like the Astros. What are you talking about?
I hate the Red Sox. Just saying.
Oh, God.
All right, Jimmy, send us out. We're going to be late. You're going to make me late,
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Yeah. You've been watching Monte and the Pharaoh and
Well, can you be a little
Mike's-
bit more enthused? Can we try
You've
this
been
again,
watching
please?
Monte and the Pharaoh and the weird thing that Mike's wearing on his head over there. So yeah, we'll see you in a few minutes with.
By the way,
Terry Moore.
you do look really heavy in that rib shot cartoon.
It's just, I don't know what's going on here. He's got to put me on a diet.